how to create your breakthrough year. That's what we're going to explore together today, and I want to begin with a fundamental truth that took me years to fully understand. Breakthrough years don't happen by accident. They happen by intention, by design, and most importantly, by decision. The kind of decision I'm talking about isn't the casual, "I'd like things to be better" variety. I'm talking about the deep, soul-stirring commitment that says, "This year will be different because I will be different." You see, everything changes when you make a decision so strong that retreat is no longer an option. I remember speaking with a young entrepreneur who had been struggling for several years. His business was surviving but not thriving. When I asked him what he wanted from the coming year, he gave me a list of modest improvements: a little more revenue, a little less stress, perhaps a short vacation if things went well. I looked him in the eyes and said, "You're not going to have a breakthrough with that mindset. You're planning for incremental change when what you need is transformation." We spent the afternoon reframing his thinking, and I watched as something shifted in him. His posture changed, his eyes gained focus, and by the end of our conversation, he had made a genuine decision to create not just a better year, but a breakthrough year. 12 months later, his business had tripled in size. The difference between a normal year and a breakthrough year begins with this decision, a line drawn in the sand that says, "Enough of the same. From this moment forward, everything changes." The quality of your life will always be in direct proportion to the quality of your decisions. Small decisions lead to small results. Massive decisions acted upon with unwavering commitment lead to massive results. So I ask you, have you truly decided that this coming year will be your breakthrough year? Not hoped, not wished, not casually considered, but decided with every fiber of your being? Because that decision, made with absolute commitment, becomes the foundation upon which everything else we'll discuss today is built. Without it, strategies remain just good ideas. With it, those same strategies become transformational tools. A breakthrough year requires more than just desire. It requires direction. And direction comes from vision, a clear, compelling picture of what you want your life to look like when this year is complete. Most people never experience breakthroughs because they haven't defined what breakthrough means to them. They have vague notions of better, but nothing concrete enough to pull them forward when challenges arise. Your vision must be specific enough to stir your emotions and practical enough to guide your actions. It should excite you when you think about it and scare you a little too, because if your vision doesn't intimidate you somewhat, it's probably too small. I often counsel people to create what I call a December 31st letter. This is a detailed letter written to yourself, dated December 31st of the coming year, describing in vivid detail what you accomplished during your breakthrough year. Write it as if these things have already happened. Describe how your business has grown, how your health has improved, how your relationships have deepened, how your financial situation has transformed. Include specific metrics, revenue figures, weight lost, books read, income earned, places visited. Make it real, make it detailed, and most importantly, make it inspiring. This isn't wishful thinking. It's establishing a destination for your journey. Without a destination, how will you know which road to take? Your vision serves another critical purpose. It becomes the filter through which you make decisions throughout the year. When opportunities arise, you can ask, does this move me toward my vision or away from it? When challenges emerge, you can ask, what solution best serves my vision? Your vision becomes your decision-making framework, helping you say yes to the right things and no to everything else. Remember, the main reason most people don't get what they want is that they don't know what they want with enough specificity and emotional connection. They have wishes, not visions. They have preferences, not commitments. The architecture of your breakthrough year begins with designing a vision so compelling that it pulls you forward even when motivation wanes and obstacles arise. Your vision isn't just what you see, it's what sees you through. Vision without a system is mere fantasy. I've observed thousands of people with brilliant visions who never achieved them because they lacked systematic approaches to turn those visions into reality. A breakthrough year isn't created through random acts of improvement. It's built through consistent systems that align your daily actions with your ultimate objectives. Success is neither magical nor mysterious. It's the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. The question isn't whether systems work, it's whether you'll work the systems. Let me share a fundamental truth about achievement. Your results are the logical outcome of your systems. If you have a system for regular exercise, you'll be fit. If you have a system for consistent prospecting in your business, you'll have clients. If you have a system for continuous learning, you'll develop expertise. Most people focus on their goals, but neglect the systems that achieve those goals. They want the harvest, but don't establish a system for planting and nurturing seeds. In my decades of studying successful people, I've found they're not just goal-oriented, they're system-oriented. They understand that while goals determine your direction, systems determine your progress. Creating these systems requires intentional design. For each major area where you want breakthrough, whether it's business, health, relationships, or personal development, ask yourself, what system could I establish that would make success in this area almost inevitable? For example, if financial growth is your goal, you might establish a system where 20% of all income automatically transfers to investment accounts before you can spend it. If business development is your focus, you might implement a system where the first hour of each workday is dedicated exclusively to high-value client outreach. The power of these systems is that they remove willpower from the equation. You don't decide each day whether to take actions aligned with your vision. You simply follow the system you've established. Remember, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit, and habits are simply systems in action. In my years of studying successful people, I've noticed they share one common understanding. Time is the ultimate non-renewable resource. You can make more money, regain lost health, rebuild relationships, but you cannot create more time. Each of us has exactly 24 hours in a day, no more, no less. Your breakthrough year will be determined not by how much time you have, but by how intentionally you invest the time you've been given. Most people spend their time. The successful invest it, and that distinction makes all the difference in the results they achieve. I remember counseling a woman who complained she didn't have time to build her business because she was so busy. When we examined how she was using her hours, we discovered she was spending over 3 hours daily on social media and television. That's over 1,000 hours per year, equivalent to 30 full work weeks. I asked her, what if you reclaimed just half of that time and invested it in your business? She looked stunned as she calculated the potential impact. 6 months later, after redirecting just 2 hours daily to focused business building, her income had increased by 40%. She didn't find more time. She made different choices with the time she already had. Creating your breakthrough year requires implementing what I call the economy of time, treating your hours as precious currency and investing them only in activities that generate significant returns. Begin by conducting a time audit. For 1 week, track how you spend each hour. Then review this data with brutal honesty, asking, is this use of time moving me toward my breakthrough vision or away from it? Be prepared for some uncomfortable revelations. Next, implement the principle of elimination before optimization. Don't try to do everything more efficiently. Eliminate low-value activities first. Finally, master the art of time blocking, scheduling your most important activities during your peak energy periods, and protecting these blocks as you would your most important meetings. Remember, how you spend your time is how you spend your life. Your breakthrough year will be created not in months or weeks, but in the individual hours you invest with clear purpose and focused attention. One of the most profound principles I've observed in creating breakthrough years is the miracle of compound growth. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a day and underestimate what they can achieve in a year of consistent effort. Your breakthrough won't come from sporadic bursts of intense activity. It will come from small improvements compounded over time. This principle works in every area of life: finance, health, relationships, skills. but few people have the patience to harness its power. They want immediate transformation rather than compound growth. Let me share a simple illustration. If you improved just 1% each day for an entire year, you wouldn't be 365% better, you'd be 37 times better because of the compounding effect. Conversely, if you declined by 1% each day, by year's end, you'd have virtually nothing left. Small choices, consistently made, create massive differences over time. I witnessed this with a client who committed to reading just 10 pages of personal development material daily. This modest commitment required only 15 to 20 minutes, not a dramatic life change. But over the course of a year, he read over 3,600 pages across dozens of books, transforming his thinking, his vocabulary, his perspectives, and ultimately his results. The individual daily actions seemed insignificant, but their compound effect was extraordinary. Your breakthrough year will be built on this principle of compound growth, identifying the small daily disciplines that, performed consistently, will create massive results over time. For business growth, it might be making 5 prospecting calls daily. For physical transformation, it might be walking 30 minutes each morning. For relationship improvement, it might be expressing gratitude to your partner every evening. None of these actions will transform your life overnight, but all of them, compounded over months, will create breakthrough results. The challenge is maintaining these disciplines when you don't see immediate returns. Most people abandon their efforts too soon, just before the compound effect would become visible. Remember, the actions that most transform your life are rarely urgent and rarely show immediate results. Your breakthrough comes from understanding that today's small disciplines don't just add up, they compound to create exponential growth over time. If there's one guarantee I can make about your breakthrough year, it's this. You will face challenges. You will encounter obstacles. You will experience setbacks. This isn't pessimism, it's reality. The road to any worthwhile destination is never a straight line. It's a series of advances and retreats, triumphs and disappointments. What separates those who create breakthrough years from those who don't isn't an absence of challenges, but a different response to those challenges. Breakthroughs aren't created in comfort zones. They're forged in what I call the crucible of challenge. I recall working with a business owner who faced a catastrophic setback 6 months into what he had designated as his breakthrough year. A major client unexpectedly canceled, representing 40% of his annual revenue. He was devastated and considered abandoning his breakthrough goals entirely. When he called me, I asked him one question. Are you going to let this circumstance define your year, or are you going to let your response to this circumstance define your year? After reflection, he chose the latter. Rather than retreating into victimhood, he used this challenge as motivation to diversify his client base, something he had previously neglected. By year's end, not only had he replaced the lost revenue, but he had also created a more stable business with twice as many clients, none representing more than 15% of his income. The challenge that could have derailed his breakthrough instead catalyzed it. Your breakthrough year will be defined not by the absence of challenges, but by your growth through them. Each obstacle presents a choice: retreat to comfort or advance through growth. Each setback offers a lesson that, if embraced rather than avoided, develops capacities within you that will serve all your future goals. The question isn't whether you'll face difficulties. The question is whether you'll use those difficulties as excuses or as opportunities for expansion. Remember, trees grow strongest not in calm, but in storms. Diamonds are formed not in comfort, but under pressure. And your breakthrough will be created not despite challenges, but because of how you rise to meet them. Don't wish for fewer problems. Wish for more wisdom. Don't ask for lighter burdens. Ask for stronger shoulders. The crucible of challenge isn't your enemy on the path to breakthrough. It's the very forge in which your breakthrough is created. The rate of change in today's world is unprecedented. Industries transform overnight. Technologies render established practices obsolete. Market preferences shift with increasing velocity. In this environment, your breakthrough year will depend not just on what you know now, but on your ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn quickly. The most dangerous phrase in business and personal development is, "But this is how I've always done it." Breakthrough belongs to those who embrace continuous learning, not as a casual interest, but as a core survival strategy. I often share the story of two business owners I mentored who faced industry disruption simultaneously. The first responded by doubling down on his existing approaches, insisting the disruption was temporary and things would return to normal. The second immediately immersed herself in learning everything she could about the changes, reading extensively, attending conferences, hiring consultants, exploring new approaches. 18 months later, the first business was struggling to survive, while the second had adapted successfully and was growing faster than before the disruption. The difference wasn't intelligence or resources, it was a learning mindset. One saw learning as optional, the other saw it as essential. Your breakthrough year requires what I call aggressive learning, the deliberate, systematic pursuit of knowledge and skills that expand your capabilities. This means dedicating time daily to reading, listening to educational content, participating in training, and seeking feedback. It means surrounding yourself with people who challenge your thinking rather than merely affirm it. It means viewing mistakes and failures not as embarrassments to be hidden, but as data to be analyzed. The most valuable skill in creating your breakthrough isn't any specific technical ability, but meta-learning, learning how to learn rapidly and effectively. Remember, in times of change, the learners inherit the future, while the learned find themselves equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. Your breakthrough will be built not just on what you already know, but on what you're willing to discover. One of the most overlooked factors in creating breakthrough years is the power of the environment. Your environments, physical, social, and mental, shape your behaviors, attitudes, and ultimately your results, far more than most people realize. You can have the best intentions, the clearest vision, and the strongest commitment, but if your environments are working against you, your journey to breakthrough will be unnecessarily difficult. Conversely, when your environments are aligned with your goals, they can make breakthrough almost inevitable. I remember working with a writer who struggled for years to complete his book. Despite genuine commitment and regular attempts, he made little progress. When we examined his writing environment, we discovered multiple issues. His desk faced a window with a distracting view, his phone remained nearby, constantly alerting him to messages, and his writing space doubled as a family storage area filled with visual clutter. We redesigned his environment completely, creating a dedicated writing space facing a blank wall, implementing technology restrictions during writing periods, and establishing clear boundaries with family about his creative time. Within 6 months, he had completed the manuscript that had eluded him for years. The transformation in his productivity came not from greater willpower, but from an environment that supported rather than sabotaged his goals. Creating your breakthrough year requires deliberate design of 3 key environments. First, your physical environments, your home, office, car, and other spaces, should be organized to make your priority activities easier and distracting activities harder. Second, your social environment, the people with whom you regularly interact, should elevate rather than diminish your standards. As I often say, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose those people wisely. Third, your mental environment, the information you consume and the thoughts you entertain, should reinforce your vision rather than undermine it. This means curating your media intake, your conversations, and even your internal dialogue. Remember, environments always win over intentions. Don't just rely on willpower to create your breakthrough. Design environments that naturally pull you toward excellence rather than push you toward mediocrity. A breakthrough, by definition, requires breaking through something: limits, barriers, plateaus, or previous standards. This breakthrough rarely happens through incremental effort. It requires what I call massive action, levels of activity that exceed conventional expectations and create momentum powerful enough to overcome the gravity of your current circumstances. There's a mathematics to massive action that few people understand. Results don't increase linearly with effort. They increase exponentially beyond certain thresholds of activity. I witnessed this principle in action with a salesperson who had been stuck at the same income level for 3 years. When I asked about his daily prospecting activity, he shared that he made about 10 calls daily. I challenged him to triple this number for just 90 days, to make 30 calls daily without exception. He was skeptical but committed to the experiment. The results were revealing. His sales didn't merely triple, as one might expect from tripled activity. They increased by nearly 7 times. Why? Because massive action created benefits beyond the simple mathematics of more contacts. It improved his skills through accelerated practice, increased his confidence through expanded success, and enhanced his reputation in the marketplace through greater visibility. Massive action created a breakthrough because it pushed him past a threshold where new dynamics came into play. Your breakthrough year will require identifying the key leverage activities in your most important areas of focus, those actions that drive disproportionate results, and then applying massive action to those activities. If health is your focus, perhaps it's not just exercising 3 times weekly, but committing to daily movement. If business growth is your goal, perhaps it's not just occasional networking, but speaking at 50 events this year. If relationship improvement is your priority, perhaps it's not just weekly date nights, but daily meaningful conversations. Massive action feels uncomfortable because it exceeds societal norms for effort, but breakthrough results never come from comfortable levels of action. They come from activity levels that others consider extreme or unnecessary. Remember, the extra mile is never crowded. Your breakthrough will occur when you commit to levels of focused action that separate you from the crowd and create momentum powerful enough to break through your previous limitations. As we conclude our exploration of creating your breakthrough year, I want to share a perspective that elevates this entire conversation beyond merely achieving goals to creating legacy. Your breakthrough year isn't just about what you accomplish, it's about who you become in the process. The external achievements, the business growth, the physical transformation, the financial gains, these are valuable, but they're not the most valuable outcomes of your breakthrough journey. The most valuable outcomes are the internal transformations that will serve you for the rest of your life. I remember speaking with a man who had achieved his breakthrough year financially, growing his business by over 300% in 12 months. But when I asked him what he considered the most valuable result of his breakthrough year, his answer surprised me. "The money and growth are wonderful," he said, "but the most valuable thing is knowing that I'm the kind of person who can set an extraordinary goal and achieve it. I'll never again tell myself something is impossible for me. That certainty about my capabilities is worth more than all the profits." He understood that his breakthrough year had given him more than external success. It had given him internal transformation, a new identity, expanded confidence, and enhanced capacity that would serve him in every future endeavor. Your breakthrough year offers this same opportunity for transformation. Beyond the specific goals you'll achieve, you'll develop discipline that transfers to all areas of life. You'll build resilience that serves you in future challenges. You'll expand your capacity in ways that make bigger goals accessible. You'll develop wisdom that enriches your decisions far beyond this year. In short, your breakthrough year isn't just about having more, it's about becoming more. And that becoming, that transformation of identity and capability, is the true legacy of breakthrough. So as you embark on this journey, know that the most important development won't be visible on your balance sheet or in your achievements. It will be evident in who you are at year's end compared to who you were at the beginning. That's the ultimate measure of a breakthrough year.